Hello, brothers and sisters of light and dark. Welcome to my page. My page is about common sense. I try to keep it down under the nitty gritty, under 10 minutes. And if it goes over 10 minutes, it's something very important and not important to liberals, libertards, people who believe in God, people like to smoke, people like to drink, people like ayahuasca, people like DMT. Listeners' discretion is advised. Going down the rabbit hole, not up your asshole. I'm the only Rennis hugging alpha on the internet right now. As goofy as I sound, it may not seem like it, but I am. This is my face for YouTube. And also for Facebook. Facebook and YouTube. But if you want to know me professionally, you contact me in my Facebook and we will talk from there. Don't be a pussy about it. I get countless people coming to me and I'll be like, who is this? Why did you send me a friend request? And they become pussies. They don't want to say nothing. They like to watch my content. But usually 9 times out of 10, if you're watching my content on the YouTube and the Facebook, you're only going to get bits and pieces of information. You're not going to really know me personally. Okay? You're not going to get a chance to know anything about my history and why I think and how we can help each other. You're not going to know any of these things. You're not going to know what services that I offer unless you speak up and say something, right? But let's get on with the topic for today. If you want to know who I am, check out my credentials down below. I just updated it on the 27th. Okay, yeah, I'm the only realist alpha that actually has videos as cringy as I am. I'm a schizologist, so if you don't know what a schizologist is, it's someone who does have schizophrenia, but I'm not delusional. Other than that, you know, if you call me delusional, then you're delusional for believing in religion or any form of God, by the way. I'm very eccentric. But if you don't ask questions, you shouldn't even be watching my videos in the first place. But let's get on with the video for today. Today's topic will be about what Kevin Samuels don't want to talk about because he says it's a very sensitive topic. Who's at fault of why we have so many beta males, beta alpha males? Who's at fault? Okay. So what I learned and what I ascertained, okay, from the history of mankind, man has always been on the top. Okay. And throughout time, mankind becomes corrupt with their own immorality, right? So eventually they're going to have to procreate. The strongest man of the fittest will most likely dominate. So the wisest man of what I learned is Socrates and King Solomon the Great. These are the 2 wisest people I know from the history of mankind. You know, King Solomon had multiple wives. He didn't fear gods at all because he knew their ultimate agenda. He knew himself very much more well not to fear either the devil. He controlled demons. That's King Solomon the Great. But Socrates, however, always asked questions, okay? And Confucius always, you know, Confucius, the Chinese philosopher as well, he made some ground foundations, okay? Which, of course, how everybody should live. But most people don't follow it anyway. But let's get on with the subject for today. Throughout mankind, they have to create rules and regulations. And I'm going to focus everything in the United States here because what I learned all the way since the 1930s, all the way up to the end of the late 60s, there was, between the 50s and 60s, was called the Golden Age. I'm going to focus it on that particular area there, okay? This is called the Golden Era of America, in which women had work, which mainly they were predominantly in the house, correct? Okay? Now, Gloria Steinem was a part of the CIA. We should already know this. And there was peace for 10 years in America, and probably even before that. But women didn't have too many civil rights back before the 1950s. But I don't think they had that much either in between the 50s and 60s. But think about it like this. Work is work. And during those times, there was a handful of women who basically said, hey, we want to start a feminist movement, which was really caused by black women who was encouraging white women to do this. Okay, remember, the white face is 65% in America, not the black face. We're not going to be talking about anything else because I thought it was just mainly white people causing this shit. But really, the fire started for black women who were being house servants in the house. Because I used to be a personal care aide and I took care of countless Caucasians who were basically racist. And they talked to me. I told them myself, I did not ask to be born black, okay? But I can understand why the cracker can be so jealous of black folks, okay? Okay, I'm just being real about it, okay? So, long story short is that these small group of women who say they were being abused between the 1950s and 60s, they started an organization. And within that organization, because of a black woman, okay, you know, inspired by black women, they created something through Gloria Steinem, okay? If you want to do the research on this, you can do this yourself. You could look up a domestic CIA called the Chaos Project. And they covered it out, and they covered it red because they wanted to make it, they want to cover it up and make it look like a terrorist organization. So that's how the feminist movement occurred. But the only way the feminist movement can occur is through a bunch of men. Yes, I said men. Okay, beta alpha males who basically have a lot of capital. And they saw an opportunity. This is how the CIA works their magic, through Corporation of America and through everywhere else upon the whole united world, okay? They're not united. The whole world's not united, but I'm just going to focus on the United States here. Stay with me for a minute here. So Gloria Steinem had the funding, which of course has to come from the government, which is more a patriarch, okay? And you already know how white America has dominated the Americas and also the Native Americans throughout the history of mankind, European conquest, and Roman Greek Hellenization. So they had to be funded. She had to be funded. Now you know where it comes from now. The people who are in power have the most money to fund the project. Or you want to call it the Chaos Project, Project Chaos, whatever, because that's what I read. And I kept it simple for you to do the research yourself. So, long story short, a bunch of beta alpha males who are into capitalism saw an opportunity to capitalize on separating of the sexes, male and female. As a matter of fact, this happened one time prior before this with Abraham Lincoln. Okay, now you already know the Declaration of Independence of Emancipation was caused by Abraham Lincoln, right? That's why he was shot in the back of the head, because the Confederates versus the Union, right? And he saw an idea to free a portion of the slaves at the time so he can fight in this civil war. So the more people who are free, the more money that can be made. Very wise man Abraham Lincoln was. So we have a modern day slave because of Abraham Lincoln. That's why he's on the penny. That's why he's on the $5 bill. Think about that now. I think he's on the dollar bill. I'm sorry, the dollar bill. But other than that, understand that there's a method to their madness. If there's more chaos of something, it has to be the people who fund it. All right? We already know what religion does. Religion keeps people in their departments, but it's not working. It doesn't always work. Religion and porn doesn't always work. It's a great evil for a greater good. And they already put that out there anyway from the jump. So if you want to know the real reason why we have 80% of betas and beta alpha males combined gravitating towards those 80% of whoremongering, if you want to know why most women, 80% of the women gravitate towards the 25% of beta alpha males, you know why. Single mothers. It starts with capitalism first. It starts with capitalism. The person who have the money to fund it. That's the first place. Then is the single mothers. Okay? The single mothers, the ones who want to be empowered. So they have to get that money somewhere, right? Okay? Without the funding, they can't move forward. But really, where it really comes from comes from capitalism. But now these days, we have to keep it simple. The single mothers want to flourish this. They want to keep going on with it. And as long as they're getting paid, there'll always be a separation between man and woman. And all of the beta males, which is 80% of the beta males, would be left out in the cold. And that's how they fund the porn industry and OnlyFans. There's a lot more beta males out there who ain't getting no ass. So they will have to take another motherfucker down. Now, beta alpha males don't have problems with women. That's because of their attraction and their status and their money. But now you understand the real reason, where it comes from, the origins where it comes from. Capitalism. And then it's those women who feed into that money so they can actually separate man and woman. And I hope you understand something here. I'm not your average man. I'm not your Peter Pan. If you got a question about that, you come to me and we could squash it. Even Kevin Simp Samuels, I told you before, he's not a therapist. He said it himself. I'm a therapist. Check out my credentials. You could join my Patreon. And we will just end it right there, okay? I don't do everything flashy like everybody else does because I'm a privatized person, a professional person. I am a very dangerous person, too. I'm a psychopath. I'm a schizo-psycho. I don't have time for people's, talking and stuff like that. There's a lot of sensitive people out there. And my videos do not pertain to the masses of asses. I'm sorry. I know people be saying, I was on radio talk shows. I was in a couple of streams. You only make me popular. And on top of that, you'll try to label me as some crazy kook, which I'm really not, because I'm highly intelligent and I got videos to back up the shit that I do. Not like Kevin Simp Samuels and anybody else. But other than that, that's all I really want to say, you guys. So now you know the core reason why we have so many beta males out there paying for pussy and they'll never beget. We know the real origins of why we have why women are basically gravitating towards those bastards in the first place. The 25% of beta alpha males. We know why. Single mothers and capitalism. Capitalism is first. Capitalism is always first. It's the males who have the money. It's the males, the beta males who have the money to pay the feminist. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Peace. Hope you learned something from this goddamn video. Peace.